What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going through Praise, what I played for Praise in the POV version where I strap a GoPro to my head. It's been about 2 years, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down the ad-lib type of things that I added to this song. I get a lot of comments from people when I do my playthrough videos. I add a little bit of my own licks, some of my own fingerprints, if you will, to the song. So like I said, it's been a couple years. We just crossed 100,000 views on it, which I think might be my most viewed video of all time. So appreciate you guys for watching and following along on the channel. Also, there is the patch that goes along with it and the tabs I have also created for the song. So what I like to do first is create a tutorial, and then I'll do a playthrough video. And now you guys have asked me to do a breakdown of the playthrough video that I played. So I'm using the patch in this video that I'm doing right now and in this playthrough, and typically it's not in the group, but I think what I'm going to do at the time of this recording is put the Praise patch included in the Worship Guitar Mastery group. And if you want to get access to the patch and the tabs and the tutorial and everything that kind of bundles with it, there's a 7-day free trial. So all you have to do is click the link in the description below. And if you're interested, we have about 300 spots left at the time of this recording before the price goes up for access to everything. I put all of my courses, patches, tabs, everything into one subscription. So it's a one-stop shop for worship guitar players who are playing songs like this. So we're going over Praise. So we're going to hit play. I'm using my Charvel. Some of you guys have been asking about this guitar. This is a Charvel that I bought. This is not sponsored by them whatsoever. I just really liked the gold color, and I wanted something that was a little bit more super stratty compared to the video, or the Strat that I played in this video. I use the green Strat still a lot of the time. I like the vintage sound. But if you need a little bit more, this one has a humbucking hot rail in there. I kind of don't like it. I like it at the same time, but I think I'd rather have a full humbucker in there. But again, like, this was a kind of a little bit of a step up from what I wanted. So without me rambling too much, let's dive into it. Okay, so we'll go over that part. First of all, I get a lot of comments in this video about my ripped jeans. Don't worry, it's been a couple years and I got new jeans. So I'm not wearing those jeans anymore. And I thank you for your concern. So what I played there was, again, this song is in A. So I am just doing 30-second notes on that open A string. And what I did was, what you can do behind the nut is you could push down on the string and make it go sharp. So if you're playing a song that kind of calls for a little bit of that attitude, sometimes I'll do that. A little bit more like the rock up-tempo songs. So obviously the 30-second. You can push down on that A string behind the nut and it'll make it go sharp. Also, if you have a floating bridge, you could do that same thing too. But yeah, so that's how I hit that. So right here, I'm actually playing on the extra delay snapshot, and I like that. I don't know if it's because I like more classic rock stuff. It's that U2. It just sits so well. And so I wanted to go over that before we go any further. So those are good triads that you should know. There's this triad here. It's the top of what would be the bar chord. That's how you get like a 1 sus or like a 4. And this is a 1/3 inversion of the 5, and then 4. Just shift that down. And then you can play around with the palm muting part of it and allow the delays to do a lot of the work. So just think about the different variations that you can do. You could do these like stabs, these accented stabs. You've got open strings, you've got palm muted, and you also have now this third element of the delays, and you could kind of bounce the notes and like go between open and palm muted. So if you want to actually do that without using the patch, it's pretty simple. It's just a dotted eighth delay, and you're just cranking up that mix and the feedback. So the mix for me, I'm looking at a small screen here. Yeah, 50%. And I have I have a dotted eighth and I have an eighth running right now. So you can kind of hear both of those. So right there, I'm adding a 2 or be like a 9. However you want to think about it. It's there's my 1. This is my 2. You can add that. I like adding that to certain songs. And I'm using cluster picking there. I'm using my hand, my right hand. To grab all the strings at once. Okay, there's when I get into the actual lead part. Again, like all of this is in the tab, so it's not really an ad-libby part. I'm just changing over to the chorus lead. It's the chorus lead snapshot. I guess some of those things are ad-lib. Sometimes I add a little bit more extra notes, some movement there to add some percussiveness. So what that is a chorus. Yeah, it's just a chorus with 1/16 is how I have the note sync. Depth at 5, pre-delay at 3.2, the sine wave, tones at 7, mix is at 50%. So one thing, a thought process that I have when I run these types of like modulation effects, if I'm going to run the effect, I usually use it for a specific moment and I crank it. I make it a little bit more accentuated and obvious than not because I want people to feel that change, that modulation change, because as you guys know, when you play live in your church, if you don't push it hard enough, it may not really have much of an effect and it may not cut through the right way. So I like to accentuate the modulation and just go a little bit further than what I probably should as far as like the mix, because I want to accentuate, I want people to hear the difference between modulated, not modulated. And if I turn that off, so that's how we do that. Looks like I'm on the middle pickup. Feel free to play around with whatever pickup you like. So one thing that I mention a lot is verse 2 is when I start to add more ad-libby stuff, because you want to lay a foundation in verse 1 and play the parts pretty much. And then verse 2, now that people have a context of what verse 1 sounds like, you want to make verse 2 feel a little bit different. And that's when verse 2 is probably like one of my favorite parts of a lot of these worship songs, especially the up-tempo songs. So I'm going to switch back to that. So right there, we got the... It's mostly the delays doing the work. I actually messed up here. That's one of the things I like to do, because especially in a world of AI, sometimes I like to leave the mistakes in there, and I think it adds a little bit more to the authenticity of what you're playing, because people can pre-record and pretend and play over top of it, but I definitely don't want to do that. I'd rather have just an authentic playthrough, something believable. You can see where it's most replayed. It's that lick right there. So, like I said, with that shape here, you could still do that shape, and that would be your 1, that would be your A. And then that would be your 4. And the lick that I played, I'll play it one more time. You'll probably see that a lot in other videos. There's a lot of different variations of how you can play it. It really depends on the timing of the song and how much time you have to put insert that lick into your spot. So I'll explain what's happening. This is the, if you're familiar with triads, this is the D shape of the A. So if we took a D shape down here and played it up here, this would be your A. We're talking more cage system. That's an arpeggio, the start of a A arpeggio. We're starting at the 5th note of that chord of the scale. So it's a pull-off. It's where you start to get into sweep picking people. Let me turn off. Let's hear it again. So we are outlining that chord. Then you want to just make sure you catch that B string, 12th fret, before you slide down. I think I catch the 10th fret B again. Yeah. So we've got... So then we've got 7th fret D string. So it's 3, 4, 5, walking up the scale. That's where you're going, that 6th fret D string. And if you're wondering what I'm doing with the mouse, somebody commented one time that I was shopping for gear. I'm not shopping for gear. I'm actually using Helix native and that's what I'm using for this video. And that's what you're hearing now. And what I used to do was I used to play and try to make snapshot changes with my mouse, and that didn't work out. So what I do is create all the snapshots and then record, just focus on recording in one take, and then I will change up the snapshots after the fact. Okay, that's something I like to add. Let me go back to this snapshot. If you know Pentatonic, first of all, some of you guys learned that box first. And then what you need to know next is the major scale. And what I like to do is add that little lick in there sometimes. The timing's different every single time. I'm just going to show you the notes, and you can feel free to make it up. Like I say in pretty much every video, when I create a run, there's a starting point and ending point, and the notes in the middle don't really matter as long as you're accurate. It's starting the lick confidently and ending the lick on the note that makes the most sense. And right there, when I land on the 12th fret A string, it seems to make the most sense. When in doubt, land on the 1, which is your A note. And so the box right there is starting on the D string, 14, 16, then G string, 13, 14. And I like to do a pull off there. Again, like you can change up the series of notes. Going down, pentatonic. And then ending up on the 12th fret A string. Okay, so like I said, I like that heavy delay, so I switched back to that and allow the delays to do the work again. Helps to know the box, and that's one of the things that I teach in the worship guitar mastery group is learning different chunks of the fretboard first to help you ideally master the whole fretboard. But this is one of those prime spots that a lot of guitar players just miss because they get stuck in the pentatonic box and not learn the rest of the major minor scale. And I'm literally just playing within that spot, within that box. So we'll see what I played here. Again, with these like kind of higher energy songs, sometimes it's cool to play in between the beats. So I guess that would be duplets. I guess that's the official music theory term, but we got the it can add a different feel to your playing. Okay, switch the neck pickup. That's a blues lick. You'll hear it in a lot of blues stuff. So you're hammering on the D string to the 16th. And then just do that again on the A string. And then landing on that 12th fret A string. So that's just a stab there. I'm going. It's a nice strong stab. One thing that I learned, I think I learned it originally from Van Halen's playing. I think it's called Cathedrals. That concept there, where he does a... What you can do with this extreme dotted eighth delay is go down the scale and do this like alternating. You can call them like groups of two. You gotta make sure it's in time because you want that delay to interact with it correctly. But you have to just know the scale because you're just alternating down the scale wherever you're at on the fretboard. And so where I started was on that 10th fret. Again, you got your starting point, and then the ending point was again on the 1 because we were just vamping on that on the A, and that was the D string 7th fret. So I'll just play it one more time. So So I'm just walking up the scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there is where I do another stab on that 4. Another thing you can do is add that open A string if you're playing an A. That's just going up the scale. So it's 3 notes per string. We go. I started on the 1, so it's D string 7, 9, 11. G string 7, 9, 11. Then we've got 9, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12. So that was that starting and end point. So how did I do that? So you notice how I ran out of room on the high E string. I had to go back down the scale because the measure wasn't over yet. And so one of the ways you can kind of finesse that is you can kind of go up the scale, back down, up the scale, back down. And in your head, you're just waiting for that measure to end. And so that's a timing thing. And then the final note that I wanted to end on was the 12th on the high E string. Notice how I got to the high E string a little too quickly, and I had to go back down. Little lore there. Notice I switched back to that middle pickup, and I turned that the chorus back on. Again, so I start on the D string, I believe. Yeah, so like I said, I had that lick. I like that starting point on that D string. And instead, I just did the same thing. But it's the same concept, but I just went up the scale, different pattern. I go all the way up to the high E. Yeah, okay, so I went up the scale, pivot it at the top, and then work my way back down to that G string on the 14th fret. That was my end spot. So I'll just play the scale slowly. So we've got 13, 14, 16, G string, 14, 15, 17, B string, then 14, 16, 17. Those are all the notes in there. That's the same lick I played earlier. Same lick. That is actually in the song. So it's in the tabs. If you want the tabs, it's the link in the description. It's just a bunch of octaves. That was a Corey Wong move right there. So that part is not in the song. I just did what Lincoln Brewster would call a flutter pick. So instead of comfortable tight on the actual strings, you're raising your wrist up and allowing it to go limp, and you're using your arm and your wrist to flick it around. It's like you're flutter picking. So you're staying tight on the pick, but then you're allowing your wrist to flutter, and so you're not tight and stiff. So we've got this kind of movement going on. That right there is just a unison bend. There's different forms of it. This is a very subtle one because I'm just bending a half step on the G string 13th fret. And then 10th fret B string. So you're bending the notes until they're the same pitch. That's just a rake pick. Love doing that. It's a fun little trick if you want to add some energy, some bite to it. So that is praise, elevation worship, what I played for this playthrough. Again, it's not the same every single time. My whole entire goal and purpose is to help you guys get better at improv and playing things in the moment, and adding different things that hit your mind, play them off the cuff, and that will give you just another level of confidence walking into Sunday, and it'll give you a little bit of life so that you don't have to feel like you're stuck playing every single part every single time. Just gives you a little bit more confidence. So if you guys like this video, thanks for watching. All you have to do is click like and hit subscribe if you want to see more of these, and we will see you in the next video.